Hi, this is Dimitris Bronovsky, author of the Curious Tanguero newsletter and tango books like Tangofulness, Tango Tips by the Maestros, and the tango novel When the Embrace Whispers. Today, I'll read a few excerpts from Tango Tips by the Maestros, hoping you'll find them useful, and maybe even check out the book on Amazon. It's available in English, Spanish, and Italian, with more languages coming soon. You can also find it on Audible as audiobook. This excerpt is from the chapter written by Evelina Sarantopoulou. Let's start. I believe you will agree with me, tango feels complicated. It is a sum of ideas, figures, personal opinions, lifetime experiences, various approaches, and different perspectives. A living organism that changed during the years, adapted and evolved to many styles. It can be chaotic and an absolute nightmare to observe and digest all aspects of tango. Tango lovers, we study, we practice, we push ourselves too hard, and we get disappointed when it is not working. We study again, we concentrate on the details. Often we focus too much on the technique, but still feel that it does not work as it should. We all know the feeling. But does it have to be that complicated? Let's take a breath and reconsider the generic idea of what tango is all about. In very simple words, it is about two individuals being inspired by the music, sharing a small area on the floor, moving together with various speeds and qualities. This is the core of tango, simple and primitive. And as simple as that, we can reposition our approach to many of the elements that set up the tango environment. Let's break some of them down to the core idea and thus change our focus to what matters the most while studying tango. Sequences are millions. Complicated, we always forget them, and we will never know enough. Core idea. Sequences are just examples of how to combine regular steps to move the four legs of the couple in different formations and directions. Figures are difficult and require high technique. Core idea. Figures are just interruption, exaggeration, or combination of the regular steps with different timing and dynamics. Tango technique is about the special way we have to move, and it is complicated as every style has a different approach. Core idea. Technique is just an analysis of what your body naturally can do and when to use it. Musicality is a complicated labyrinth that we need to study in depth for many years. Core idea. Musicality is a filter in order to be more picky when we move. Tango style is something that we need to copy when we learn tango. We should choose the teacher accordingly and stick to the style because it describes what kind of tango we dance. Core idea. Style will emerge in our dance as we evolve. It is the maturity reflected in our movement after many hours of dancing and practicing. It is our personality. Strong communication in the embrace should control everything with detailed leading, complicated orders, and sensitive following, matching answers. Core idea. Communication is about the desire to share each movement and should not be limited to the embrace. Embracing is the way of holding the physical contact with our partner. There are many different styles and forms of embrace, and that makes it difficult to connect with everyone. Core idea. Embrace is about hugging and connection forms when tango partners share the same attitude. Practicing is about remembering the figures and repeating them again and again. Core idea. Practice is about observing and adapting until it works. Ochos and crosses are figures that we should execute exactly with a certain form and size we've been taught. Core idea. They are a primitive resolution of moving to the side of the standing leg. Heels are fancy but difficult to balance. Need a lot of practice to move in them. Core idea. Heels are the fastest way to the ground and leverage for moving. We embrace them and use them to our benefit. Those 10 observations are some examples that have deep implications and can give simple solutions to many of the problems dancers face while studying. It takes an experienced teacher to help you explore each one and see how your dance can be transformed, and most importantly, feel simple and easy. It took me years of collecting sophisticated information about tango to realize that no matter what we choose to dance, We should always look back to the origins, the needs, and the reasons that created these movements. This thought unlocks all tango aspects, brings resolutions, and makes learning easy. Following, you will find 5 tips that combine and originate from those 10 observations. I chose them intentionally to help you take your point of view and study of tango to a more mature approach. I expect that after reading them and taking some time to digest and apply them, your tango will be less complicated and greedy, more grounded and balanced, more expressive and better connected. Stay with me. A great problem solver, turning gravity into a friend. Gravity creates instability, but it is not the enemy. It is the generator of all movement. Think about that. While dancing, we have to deal with the natural forces, understand them, and take advantage of what they offer. Gravity is the main force we feel when we concentrate, even before moving. It is dragging us to the ground and creates most of our difficulties. Loss of balance during pivots, annoying feeling in the embrace while moving, struggle to achieve common timing even for simple transfers, etc. Well, stop being afraid of it and start using it. You cannot avoid the feeling of falling to the ground, but you can control the way you do it. Please find below some examples, from simple to more demanding cases. To hold your balance on one leg, you have to embrace gravity. First, recognize the line of gravity that crosses your body and directs to the ground, and then use it to your benefit. How? Stand on both legs with some distance in between, relax, and observe how your body gets heavy. Feel the force that pulls you down to earth, and that the only thing between the floor and your central body is your 2 legs. Both legs are holding you from collapsing to the floor, and the line of gravity goes through your body to the ground. Hold that feeling and start moving slowly to the one leg. While moving, take care of the alignment of your body. Head over shoulders, over torso, over hips, over leg. And let gravity take your weight to the ground through that one leg. Checkpoints. Both your hips are relaxed and heavy, but the knee of the standing leg is strong. Your back is growing towards the ceiling, and all parts of the upper body are on top of the standing leg. Alignment, gravity line. Whenever you take the next direction, it is not a sophisticated dancing figure. It is just your desire to move your body to the next position on the floor. Keep the simple and primitive way to describe the step. Feel your body falling to that spot due to the gravity and place one leg under it in a way that supports the alignment. Make sure that the free leg reacts soon enough so that this falling doesn't look clumsy and risky. To be sure about transferring the alignment of the body, never break the waist, the back, the wings, aka latissimus dorsi. Hips should still be relaxed and flexible so that you find space in the joints of the pelvis to bring the vertical alignment from one leg to another. Every time you step, you should push your body out of your balance, gravity line, so that you can receive it on the other leg. All steps are using this fundamental force. For example, the follower's cross of the basic step is a simple fall to the right side. The body is falling to the right side, and the free leg, the left one, is arriving under the body to confirm the alignment. Just try this concept while you practice the various crosses. Think of every cross step as a step to the side and use gravity to do it. That makes crosses easy to lead and easier to follow. The same principle applies to the popular and complicated volcadas and colgadas. The body is trying naturally to move from one alignment to another, but at the first stage of the movement, when the falling makes the free leg reach out for the new position, the embrace of the partner is limiting the transfer, so the free leg doesn't arrive to the stage of using the floor. To hold this new balance, the couple has to keep the contrabalance, opposite gravity, pushing simultaneously out of their alignment towards the exact opposite direction. This doesn't have to be big and hard to hold. Even a small intention of doing it is enough to enable gravity to create volume in the dance. Other popular cases of using the force of gravity, the falling of the alignment, are the change of dynamics, acceleration, and deceleration. To sum up, gravity is a tool. Embrace it and enjoy it. It can solve many problems and totally change the quality of your dance. If you feel that what you just read is completely new to you, this probably means that there is space for future development of your dance in that specific area, the use of gravity as a helper and not an enemy. Consider developing this area more and learning about it. If something feels unclear, feel free to reach out to me by logging in to the Reader's online environment. Ones and zeros, a simple tool for clarity in your dance. Sequences of movements are easy to analyze and learn if you stop giving them special descriptions. Big step, small step, change of weight, cross, ocho, sacada, gancho, patada, etc. Every time you give a name to a movement, you create a new category in your mind, and that movement becomes something complicated that requires extra skills to do it. But what if we could make tango a simple game of ones and zeros? Of course, this cannot describe everything that happens in a movement, and we cannot fully describe all the qualities of a dance with zeros and ones, nor should we, but stay with me and let's explore where it can take us. Like the binary system, we can create a two-digit language that is able to describe complicated concepts. Moving from one spot to another creates a transferring, which we'll call one. Standing on the spot and turning, pivoting, will be our zero. All tango movements are a desire to transfer on the floor. In some figures we succeed, in others we use the intention. Or a pause on the spot, stop transferring, often with a change of direction, pivot. Combination of transferring and turning is everything we dance, ones and zeros. As simple as that. To understand that better, I invite you to watch a video. I added one for you in the Reader's online environment, both at normal speed and in slow motion, focusing on a complicated sequence and try to translate it into a 1-0 system. First step 1, second step 1, pivot, 0, step 1. The secret is to realize whenever a complicated figure is happening, which priority of 1-0 you need. The conditions you need to bring to your body for the turn or for the transfer is another chapter, the technique chapter. While watching the video, you can also focus on the 0-1, 0-0, and 1-0 combinations between the partners because one might walk while the other turns. That would be a 1-0 combination. The 1 describing the dancer that moves, while the 0 describes the one that doesn't. In that concept, sacadas are just ones, but with the partners transferring to crossing directions. Crossed legs are a sidestep 1. Ochos are a 1 and a 0. Paradas are an interrupted 1. Circular bolios are an interruption of a pivot, which means a 0. That system will help you remember the sequences, but most importantly, understand how to dance them. While studying tango, first take away all complicated details. Observe the core structure of 1 to 0, transfer pivot, and the timing you need to perform them. Leader and follower. People often complicate their tango because of the definition of leading and following. They choose the side that they like to study, and they focus exclusively on doing their moves. That concept is pretty much misleading and creates distance and tension between partners, unpleasant attitude, and sad dancers. In a way, it reflects a misunderstanding by putting too many responsibilities on the one side and creating too many expectations on the other. For example, the leader could become stressed and aggressive, trying to remember the figures, struggling to guide the follower's steps, confusing the musicality, trying to follow the speed of the line of dance, etc. At the same time, the follower, having no area of control, becomes a passive receiver of information, a robot executing the steps, constantly demanding more and better information, believing that the follower's part is just to use the leader's orders. However, sharing a tango is not a debate, nor a competition of skills. Dancing with a partner should be a simpler and better balanced relationship. Finding similarities to everyday life makes it familiar and easier to process. It is the interaction between two people that accepted similar conditions with those the following story indicates. Try to imagine the relationship and the bond of a blind lady that puts her trust and appreciation in her guide to move her safely through space. She's calm and focused on him, expecting that he will show her the way and protect her at the same time. She has to move in line with him and keep her qualities during moving: balance, strength, control of her body. Her own abilities are very important for both partners. He should not carry her along the way. She should only expect from him the simple information of where to move and when. The attitude of each follower and leader should be the same. In simple terms, the follower cannot see without the eyes of the leader. She follows, she moves according to the intention of her partner. To do so, she develops some skills: active legs and a strong back to hold her balance and transfer her body to the next position, ears to hear the music and produce each movement with a matched character, technique to create the turning impulse without asking support from the embrace, etc. She uses her skills to keep her body in front of her partner's center and in line to his intention, direction, size, and level of movement, the timing of the transfer, dynamics, etc. And she has to create harmony in the couple, to ground the energies of her leader, discharge, and bring stability, to be patient, and respect his decisions. At this game of exchanging energies, the leader should not worry about holding the follower on her balance or using effort to actually move her. On the contrary, while moving, the follower is using her power and thus producing force and intention that her partner uses to continue the dance and create figures. His actual job is less energy consuming. He has to simply explain the direction and the timing that he desires and prepare his follower to do so. Observation is very important so that he can adapt to his follower's reaction, recognize possible mistakes, and move in line with that. Tango is about sharing. The two partners build the dance together, they exchange intentions, they share all stages of the movement, they create a unique musicality for every moment, they explore the natural forces to bring the common stability. They stay focused, they observe, they feel each other, they compensate for the bad moments so that the dance can continue. Ego and demands shouldn't appear in this relationship. It is not about leading and following, it is about sharing the desire to dance, accepting the responsibilities of each part, bringing up the best qualities and respect of each other, like life. Use this approach with your partners and observe how tango can offer you the feeling of connection and satisfaction. The true role of the embrace and why most people are using it wrong. Embrace is the starting point of many important and beautiful things, but don't misuse it to hold your balance or to create energy for a change in direction. This approach can create some of the negative results that we all occasionally experience when we dance. Examples of those results are the strict and stiff embrace dedicated to serving only one form, ignoring any indication of compensation, the use of unnecessary force in order to create movement, the misuse of space that brings the partners too far or too near and creates imbalance, the pushing, pulling, or dragging in order to execute a step or a pivot, etc. Things should be simple and clear. Legs and hips are the tools to hold and move our bodies. Arms and upper body are to embrace. To move you and support your weight during the dance, you should bring all responsibility to your legs and lower body. Don't expect the embrace to replace that. Moreover, a common misconception that you need to be aware of is that the embrace is the part of our body that produces energy for the direction. Well, it can transmit a lot of different information, but it shouldn't be responsible for generating the lead of transferring. There are other tools more suitable to do so. For taking a direction through space, a simple transfer, and transmit the lead for that, you should use the hips and the central area of your body in a way that takes advantage of the force of gravity, as we have already mentioned. Using this technique, you can easily create the sense of pushing or pulling that you need to prepare and transfer, and also to absolve the embrace of the responsibility to be a source of energy for the direction of the movement. The role of the embrace is more delicate, more sensitive, more human-oriented than that. Through the embrace, we look for flexibility and comfort, we observe sensations, and we transmit feelings. To create forces and energies, we should use other tools of our bodies. Acknowledging the difference can help you understand why some dancers seem to enjoy a calm, comforting embrace, while others feel cold and tense, or they overreact through the embrace, struggling to drive or to receive the movement. It is also important to realize that the origin and the mainstay of the embrace is not the front of the chest, but the surface of your back. Trying to hug with your chest leads to common problems, such as falling forward too much and dropping in between the gap, blocking your elasticity, trying to maintain the contact point, investing too much on your partner to support your balance. The connection could feel uncertain and fragile, unstable and uncomfortably strong. The main side effect when you offer your chest for contact towards your partner is that your upper body opposes your partner's body, while it should stretch and grow around. Opposing the chest squeezes your spine, shrinks your back's size, and reflects a hostile and inhospitable sensation. To avoid that, your upper body needs to grow larger and create the conditions and space to receive and host your partner's body. That way, your intention goes around and wraps your partner gently in a protecting embrace. Once you manage to bring this fulfilling embrace into your dance, the way to hold it comfortably during dancing is to always use the upper body with the same rotation as your partner's embrace, so that you don't produce opposite forces that unbalance the dance. Take the turns from the level of your hips, not from the arms. And at every transfer, at the stage of finding your alignment and discharging your energy to the floor, don't forget to continue growing your back and holding the shape of your embrace, declaring through that where you are standing. A steady and flexible embrace that two partners build by adopting the same attitude could challenge different qualities, express emotions, and transmit delicate intentions. However, you need to explore how the parts of the upper body can transform to produce different feelings. For some people, this is intuitive, but in any case, there are ways to explain and practice it. For example, the qualities of a step, big or small, soft or strong, fast or slow, etc., can be translated through the embrace. You could achieve small and soft steps if you take all the air out of your lungs, shrinking the size of your upper body and relaxing your muscle tone. That brings the energy down and reduces the reaction of the lower body. So the expression of the step is similar to that, small and calm. For sure, the follower should imitate the same attitude at all times, so that the character of the step arrives to her lower body through her embrace and not just through her mind's perception. Another example, you could transmit the intention of an explosive movement by compressing your core, bringing high muscle tone and charging energy, preparing for the moment to express the acceleration. Furthermore, you can use your embrace differently to help your partner feel happier, lighter, loved, etc. A caring and calm touch is enough to change the status of your partner's psychology. This will immediately affect your connection with your partner and improve your dance. These skills are not only for the leader to develop, but for the follower to explore as well. Both sides can have ideas and intentions inspired by the music, feelings to share and transmit. Both partners should be mature enough to observe, receive, and react accordingly. Going into how you can use your embrace to do all that would require a few chapters on its own, so for now, it is important to simply ask yourself whether or not you already understand how to use your embrace for the purposes I mentioned above. If you don't feel certain, then your embrace might be suffering, or worse, your partner's embrace might be suffering. Don't be disappointed though. The realization of what information you are missing is the first step of progress. The second step is finding someone who can help you get that information. It's up to you to continue the journey of your tango development. Bend or stretch, point or heel, open or close, etc. A simple tool to answering those questions. To start dancing, we need some rules to follow, some directions to define our path. But as we spend more time studying all these rules, they start to conflict with each other and don't seem to make any sense. Should you bend or stretch the knees, point your toes, or use your heels for the forward step? Open or close the embrace? And where exactly to put the arm and palm of the close side of the embrace? Should we dance totally straight or in a lambda position? How to recognize the right and the wrong technique? Why use high heels and not flat shoes? Is it a matter of style? Those are the debates that expose students to dilemmas and confusion. What is correct? What is true? They seem contradictory, and it is normal to assume that you should choose one principle to apply and stay focused on that one. And when you get used to that choice, it defines your dance, and all others feel wrong. But what if we could explore all the potential every choice gives us and then choose each time accordingly to serve a purpose? For example, what difference does it make to the size of a side step if you decide to bend the knees or stretch them? Does it make your dance more difficult or better? Or is it just different? What are the abilities of your body referring to the forward step? Do you get the same result when you choose to point or when you use the heel? And a question that might seem bizarre. Can you have all the qualities of a step, small, big, fast, etc., using the same approach? What are the strong points and weaknesses of each embrace? Do you have the same space, the same stability, the same connection with all of them? Could you express yourself the same way with all kinds of embraces? After answering these questions, you will realize that all these options are not an either-or case, but tools to use anytime you need them. They give several expression skills to your body, and any of them can create different circumstances for the couple. It is better if you study them all, so you are ready to pick the one you need every time. For example, in tango, you should expect that different partners need different kinds of embraces for better connection and comfort. Another demanding case is the various qualities of the floor, more sticky, more slippery, sometimes with gaps. Using your foot and legs in different ways could permit you to adapt to any kind of dancing surface. But the most intense factor is the musical interpretation. Music is the main source of inspiration when we dance and requires us to adapt several styles in order to express the various emotions it provokes. Does the music require strong or soft steps? Then you might want to choose heels or points respectively. Does the music require you to accelerate or slow down to a pause? Then you might need to bend the knees for elasticity or stretch them for stability. Different choices create different qualities. While embracing, do you feel like relaxing in a deep, close embrace to enjoy a soft melody, or you need space to bring more elasticity and dynamic to the movements? Let the music explain to you what kind of shape you need to bring to your movement, combining all potential of your body to do it. Accept the music as the main factor in determining your style. Listen carefully and then decide the way you want to interpret. The ways that you can interpret the music with your steps and body are not a mystery. It is a well-understood concept that each tango teacher that respects himself or herself needs to know. So, if you're not sure of how to do it, or you have never been taught how to do it, this might be your next breakthrough. Explore it with the right teachers, and you can see your dance transform. If you enjoyed what you learned in this episode, visit tangotipsbythemaestros.com to explore all available languages as paperback or as audiobook, or simply search for the book Tango Tips by the Maestros on Amazon. Also, if you found this episode helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your friends. For a curated list of free and paid resources to help you improve and enjoy your tango, go to thecurioustanguero.com/Argentine Tango. I've put together a list just for you. I'll say it again, thecurioustanguero.com/Argentine Tango. And remember to smile, you've discovered tango. Most people haven't. What a gift.